I don't want you to freak out about your hair just to finally realize that what's happening is completely normal. Stress can actually lead to hair loss. So when you stress out about your hair, that's doing nothing but harm. That's why I need you to learn these 5 things your hair does that you shouldn't even be worrying about. Starting with 1, it's completely normal for your hair to shed. Look, hair shedding concerns all of us guys, including myself, but it is completely normal and nothing to worry about. Picture this, you wake up, you look at your pillow, and it's absolutely covered in hair. You and your brain will automatically go into panic mode. This is a common thing that happens to most guys, and there's absolutely no reason to start to panic. But before I dive into why this is normal and why this happens, I need to tell you the biggest lie most guys will tell you. For example, let's say you're brushing your hair. You look at your brush and you notice there's a lot of loose hairs in it. Most guys will tell you the worst case scenario is happening, and that worst case scenario is hair loss. But trust me, it's not what it seems. Your hair shedding is just a normal part of your hair's life cycle. It's your body's way of making room for that new, healthy hair to grow. So how can you tell the difference between normal hair shedding and potential hair loss? I broke this down into 5 simple steps you can follow. You first need to get familiar with your own hair growth cycle. The 3 phases you need to learn about are the anagen phase, catagen, and then telogen. Your hair shedding will most likely happen when it's in that telogen phase. You then need to pay attention on how many hairs you're shedding each day. On average, losing 50 to 100 hairs a day is considered normal. And if you want to take it a step further, you can even track exactly how many hairs you're losing a day. So if you're losing more than that average amount, I would recommend consulting a dermatologist because they'll be able to tell you exactly whether or not you're experiencing some sort of hair loss. The second thing you should stop freaking out about is having a naturally greasy scalp. But it's important for you to understand what causes a greasy scalp, the lies people tell you about it, but most importantly, how to manage it effectively. Picture this. You wake up and it feels like your hair has been dipped in a deep fryer. I'm talking about grease central. But what if I told you your greasy scalp is just your hair's way of protecting itself? But before we go any further, you need to understand the lies and common misconceptions most men have about greasy hair. First off, don't get me wrong, a greasy scalp can be totally frustrating. It makes your hair feel heavy, flat, and overall just not very good. And most guys will tell you that you need to be washing your hair more, when in reality, that's gonna make your situation 50 times worse. Here's the thing, the oil your hair produces is essential and natural. It keeps your hair healthy and protected, but you don't wanna get rid of it completely, which is what some guys will tell you to do. The key is to manage it effectively. So I'll give you the 5 steps you need to do to manage it effectively. You first need to get rid of that 3-in-1 that's in your bathroom and replace that with a mild sulfate-free option. The reason you want your shampoo to be sulfate-free is because this will cleanse your scalp without stripping it of its natural oils. Step number 2, don't overwash your hair. Washing your hair too frequently can actually lead to even more oil production. So what you should aim for is once every other day. Step number 3, on those off days, use a dry shampoo. This will absorb that excess oil and give your hair that volume it needs. Number 4, stop touching your hair throughout the day because those oils from your hands can actually transfer to your scalp and make it look even greasier. And the last step is to use conditioner, but the right way, which means don't apply it to the scalp. Apply it to the links and the ends of your hair. This prevents added greasiness at the roots. The third thing you need to stop freaking out about is your hair has split ends. I want you guys to leave a comment down below if you've ever had a bad hair day because of split ends. All you guys should have left a comment. But here's the thing, they might actually not be as bad as they seem. But listen, I'm not here trying to defend split ends because they make your hair look super frizzy and honestly, just plain sad. But once most guys see that they have split ends, they will immediately start to freak out and think the only way they can get rid of it is by cutting off all their hair. Don't do this, guys. There is way more to the story. Split ends are a result of hair damage, but with the right care, you can prevent them and keep your hair looking its best without resorting to completely cutting it all off. And here's how you do exactly just that. So first and foremost, don't skip out on those regular haircuts. Trimming your hair every 6 to 8 weeks will help remove those split ends and keep your hair looking fresh. And if you're like me and you love using a hair dryer, you always need to apply a heat protectant. Think of a heat protectant almost like a shield around your hair. And then finally, make sure you're being gentle when brushing your hair. You should be using a wide tooth comb and starting from the ends, then working your way up. The fourth thing your hair is doing that's completely normal, and this is sort of a hard pill to swallow, but as you age, your hair is gonna change. Look, it's just a normal part of life, but that doesn't mean your hair doesn't have to look good. So if you're one of my older viewers watching this, it can be very disheartening to see your hair naturally start to gray or become even thinner. But there's no need to feel bad or shameful about that. It's just life. So if you're experiencing any of that, here's 3 steps I want you guys to do. As your hair is aging, it's most likely becoming drier. So you should be adding products to your hairstyling routine that will add nourishment and more moisture. The next thing I want you to do is experiment with different hairstyles. As your hair texture changes, it's best for you to start to change your hairstyle as well. I'd recommend to go for a more shorter cut or maybe a more layered style. And the last step is to just embrace it. The final thing most guys freak out about is their hair breakage. Hair breakage is totally normal, and to some degree, I'd say every guy has it. Although it's not good, if you manage it the correct way, you'll be good to go. But what if I told you your hair's breaking for a reason you've never even considered? But before we dive into that, let's talk about some of the lies you might hear from other dudes. So when you experience some sort of hair breakage, this will make your hair look damaged, frizzy, and just not its best. So most guys will think they shouldn't even style it or mess with it at all. But that is not the answer. The good news is you can prevent hair breakage without having to sacrifice your style. You first should start avoiding tight hairstyles. So since I have longer hair, sometimes I like to put my hair in a little man bun. But this can actually cause stress on my hair, so I'll mainly just rock it down and just let it flow. You should then apply some sort of argan oil, because this will protect your hair from any of that heat damage, like if you're using a hair dryer or any of those other styling tools. That's gonna be it for me today. Those are 5 normal things your hair does that you need to stop freaking out about. If you wanna know the perfect 7-day hair care routine for men, check it out right here. And if you wanna know 5 ways men are actually damaging their hair, check it out right here. I'll see you guys in the next one.